Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. There was plenty to admire on the Bam Rodriguez-Gonzalez undercard, and one fight in particular springs out as being controversial, and that was the contest between Thomas Mattice and Ramiro Casena of Mexico, Mattice being from the US. Now, Mattice came in with 20 wins, 3 defeats and 1 draw. And he's not run out as a big banger, even though he had, coming in, he had 15 KOs out of 20 wins. His 3 defeats all on points. He's regarded more as a boxer, likes to throw punches in bunches, but at the same time, likes to be slick, likes to move a bit, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Tevin Farmer, that type of style. And he's 32 now, so he's had this, career where he's almost fallen into gatekeeper mode. But he's been taking people's unbeaten records. His previous fight, he fought Christian Tapia, won a unanimous 10-round decision. And I think earlier in his career, he fought a guy called Michael Dutchover, knocked him out in 8 rounds. He was undefeated, and there have been a few others. So he came in against the undefeated Mexican Casena, and the general consensus was he'll probably outbox him. Casena undefeated, 16 wins, no defeats and 1 draw, 13 KOs, so he had a bit of pop to him. But Casena hadn't really faced that many, he hadn't faced any leading contenders, but he's beaten one guy who had an undefeated record. That was a couple of years ago. But generally speaking, he was untested. And for the first 4 rounds of this fight, Casena really put it on Mattice. They're both orthodox fighters. Mattice was looking to sort of move a bit, be his usual slick self, but he was being forced to fight, not box, but fight at a pace that he didn't like. And clearly, Casena had come here with the intention of pressure. And like I say, both orthodox fighters, but the styles were totally different. Casena having great success getting Mattice on the back foot, usually on the ropes, letting his hands go, and really keeping the heat on him. I mean, Mattice didn't look perturbed, was defiant, was, showing out a bit, poking his tongue out, giving him the come on. And Mattice and Casena himself wasn't averse to a little bit of showboating too. But then the tide in the 5th round, actually, the tide started to turn, and gradually Mattice seemed to find the rhythm. He seemed to, possibly because Casena slowed down a bit, he was able to start controlling the range a bit more. Casena was still coming forward and throwing a lot of punches, but Mattice did land a very good punch to the body that seemed to hurt maybe not hurt him severely, but slowed him up. And things were starting to get dirty as well, which, strangely enough, seemed to suit Mattice more than Casena, because you'd think the rampaging come-forward bull would prefer the rough and tumble more than the slicker boxer. But no, Mattice seemed to like it. He seemed to like the idea of things getting a bit up close and personal and dirty, and and the referee actually spoke to them both and said, clean it up. I want a clean fight. And Casena was like, yeah, whatever, and Mattice was like, yeah, all right, like he knew that he was at fault, sort of thing. But gradually Mattice sort of took over until the 8th round, where Casena, his mouthpiece fell out. And Casena looked down at the mouthpiece as if to say to the referee, my mouthpiece has fallen out. And Mattice clocked him. And the referee stepped in and took a point off Mattice. Now, I totally disagree with this. Completely disagreed with this decision by the referee. Because the referee hadn't said break. He hadn't said stop boxing. Casena had looked down at the floor, at the canvas. Mattice had clocked him. What's wrong with that? Mattice, for all he knew, and it's quite feasible he was behind. He could have been behind on points. This was in the 8th round. I gave the first 4 rounds to Casena, and I was about to give the next 4 to Mattice, but Mattice had a point taken off in a round he won, so he was still a point behind. The 9th round I gave to Mattice, and in the 10th round, so it was statistically, it was, if you consider the point taken off, even though I'd given Mattice 1 more round, it was even. So it was all on the last round. And Matisse's corner said to him, you need a knockout to win. So he went for a knockout. And guess what? He sort of got it, because halfway through the round, that final round, Casena was stung quite badly. It was looked to me like a right hand to the temple, or near the temple. And for the first time, he looked distressed. And Mattice poured on the heat. I mean, Casena was back to the ropes. Mattice was just letting the punches fly. Not all of the punches were landing. Casena was covered up. He was actually cut as well over, I think, the left eye, or by the side of the eye. There was blood coming down it. And the referee, Raphael Ramos, who had a very questionable performance indeed in this fight, stepped in, stopped the fight. Casena was livid. He was jumping around the ring. Oh, what are you doing? You stopped the fight. In fairness to the referee, and I don't think the referee had a very good, I don't think this was a good one for the ref at all, but in fairness, I suppose, Casena wasn't throwing any punches back. Mattice was swinging punches at him, not letting him get off the ropes, and Casena just wasn't replying. So you could argue, well, the referee had no choice but to stop the fight. But it was kind of controversial. I know the commentary team, especially Sergio Mora, this was an American commentary team. It was on DAZN, the fight was shown. He wasn't happy at all. He was, this is a terrible stoppage, and blah, blah. I agreed with the commentary team about the point being taken off, just completely the wrong decision. But the stoppage, yeah, I'm in 2 minds. I'm sort of ambivalent about it. But I can understand why Casena was angry, because the fight was there for the taking. He just didn't fire back. And if you don't fire back, you don't give the referee an excuse not to stop it, what do you think is going to happen? So Thomas Mattice moves to 21 wins, 3 defeats, 1 draw. Now he's now got 16 wins by stoppage or knockout. I think he's the DAZN fighter, the undefeated guy. Casena was coming over from Mexico to fight the home guy, or should we say the promoter's guy. Signed to Matchroom now, Mattice. But I'd like to see Casena again, because to me he was flagging a bit. He was running out of juice over the 10 rounds, but maybe that was lack of experience. I don't know. He did set a hellish pace from the start. And Mattice gets the win. He's now going to move on, but he also won the WBC Continental Americas belt, or whatever that is. That gets him a ranking, but I don't know, man. I mean, this was a super featherweight fight. Is he ready for a title shot? Maybe. He's 32, so I guess you might as well put him in there. He's called the Gunner Man. That's his nickname. Is he gonna win a title? Boom, boom. I don't know about this, because you saw a lot of good stuff, but you saw a lot. The guy can fight. I mean, he can box and fight. This is the thing. And it's not like he's caught between 2 styles. He can fight when he has to. But I don't know, really. I don't know. Casena, he'll want a rematch, and I wouldn't mind a rematch. The crowd were livid. They were booing, and they thought Casena was hard done by. But I don't know. Take a look at the fight. Tell me what you think about it. What do you think of the ending? What do you think of the fight? Who did you have ahead at the time of the stoppage? Like I say, I had it even, completely even. It was all reliant on that last round, but the cards were made redundant by that big flurry. It's a big right hand to start with, and a big flurry that got Casena out of there after a fashion. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Thanks for your time as always. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and give the like button a good old left hook as well. We'll build the channel up. Thanks for your time as always. Speak in soon. Bye for now.